Hello, I'm Jeff Bloodbrain and welcome back to Tailor Tales. So, I wasn't going to address this, I was just going to make this video and upload it because at this point I don't care anymore. So, back when I was doing second Valentine's Day stories, I ended Immortal Love Letter from the Past, moved on to the second game, The Price of a Miracle. Lost, was at 160, went back down to 150. You know what? I thought about it, I don't care, I'm going to finish the special and keep going. So, we moved on. I did the second episode of the second Immortal Love game and finished out second Valentine's Day stories. Was back at 160. We started Tales of Second Valentine's Day stories recently. Still at 160 when I posted Love Story Letters from the Past episode 1. I posted a second episode of that back down to 159. So I'm starting to question if it's me, if I'm the reason why people are not subscribing, and I'm subscribing, if it's the content that I'm posting, or if it's just the people in general. Anyways, Mitchell, here I am. In front of me is a small store that used to be a jewelry store, and as of today, it's mine. I'm going to be reading this slowly because when it comes to games like this, we read. Yeah, my mouth tends to speak faster than my brain can process. This is so exciting. Ever since Grandma passed away, I had grown fond of sewing machines. Fond of the sewing machines she had left me behind. See, it spurred me on to sew my own clothes and find out it was actually quite fun. I pursued my interest and went to art school majoring in fashion. Before we reading this, I want to let you guys know that I am bringing back vlogs next week. I'm still going to be doing this stuff, but I'm going to be doing vlogs in between that. I've already downloaded them again because I actually deleted all my files permanently, and I'm going to re-edit them so that they're up to YouTube standards, and I'm going to repost them. Just letting you guys know. Now, with that being said, it doesn't mean you have to freak out and leave the channel. Again, I've been doing gaming since I restarted the channel because at the channel group I need to break up the content every so often. Grandma also left me behind a large inheritance so I could purchase my own boutique after I finished art school. Sunshine Bliss. And this is it. My own boutique. The bottom floor is the storefront and the floors above are my living area. I hurry up and take out my keys to open up the front door. And here we are. An empty, large room greets me. It is stripped of any personality, and it needs some touching up to them. It's taken me some time, and along with the help of my best friend Sarah, we finish up the boutique. Phew, I can't believe it's finished, says Sarah as she stretches out. I'll have to read it like that because that's how I pictured she'd talk. It looks amazing. Thanks for all your help. I'm really grateful that Sarah also lives in the same city and helped me out. We met each other in college. Sarah majored for photography. Hey, she's been a great friend so far. Well, I'm definitely up for a break. Do you want to have a drink somewhere? Oh, sure. Do you know anything close by, I asked. Sarah knows the city more than I do. Of course. It's not too far from me. We can get there by foot. We both move out, and I'm happily looking back to see my finished boutique. It's a dream come true. So, there is a section where you have to, design stuff in order to unlock next chapters because you got to pay for them. I'll probably do that off screen, and then the videos would just be me reading, playing actually himself, because that would just take too long and too much of editing. It's already a pain in the arse to edit because when I'm editing the hidden object games, it's like a half hour. Plus, I gotta edit, find out where to cut, and then rewatch the cut back to make sure it matches up from where I started to where it ended, and I guess keep, This is why I like games like this, because you can just read and it doesn't require much editing, if any at all. We make our way further into the city until we come across a cozy little cafe. A little further is a very modern hospital. It's nice to see I live so close to one. You'll never know when you need to go there for an emergency. Turned up the volume slightly. Me and Sarah enter the cafe. It's quite busy and lively with people having a cup of coffee or people typing away on laptops. So baked fresh daily, 2 for $1. We got hot and cold drinks. You can't even read the prices on those. And we got assorted donuts, cupcakes, a cake. I actually see a few people in a doctor's coat or nurse's outfits. I guess they come here to take a break. I'll go find us a seat. Why don't you go stand in line and grab me a cup of coffee? I patiently wait in line. Yeah, I potentially wait in line. Order our drinks and try and find Sarah again with a tray in my hands. I can see her sitting in the back in one of the booths. I worm myself through a crowd of people delicately bouncing the tray. And that's when we run into Neil. I recorded this episode once before, but I wasn't satisfied with it. I've almost made my way over when suddenly someone knocks into me from behind by accident. It's a grown-up Neil. Ah! I stumble forward, and the cups of coffee launch themselves off the tray, right onto a man's sleeve. Gah! He yells out in shock. The cups shattered on the floor, silencing the entire cafe. The man in front of me has white dress. The man in front of me has his white dress shirt covered in one gigantic coffee stain. Just so you guys know, if any of you do watch the second episode of Love Story Letter from the Past, the mic was off. So the mic quality is at arse again, and I didn't even know that. So I just put a disclaimer right in the corner somewhere, so you guys are aware, just in case. It's a good mic, I don't know why the mic quality was weird. He's rubbing it and wincing in pain. I feel mortified and I rush over to him. I'm so sorry, I yelled out. I pull out a tissue from my bag and hand it over to him. There's no need. The man hisses at me, rejecting my tissue. This is ruined. You ruined it. It was an accident, I murmur softly. The man flicks the coffee off his fingers and starts to glare at me. I suppose walking straight is too much of a task for you. This was a real coroner. I blush as I recognize the brand name. It's one of the more expensive ones. Fierce. There's no need to insult me. It was a mistake. What can I do to make it up for you? Well, I looked online. If you go fierce, there is more of a chance of this game to be inappropriate. If you go kind, a less inappropriate approach. And, I'm trying to be cautious when it comes to YouTube. What can I do? Sarah has finally come over to see what the commotion is about and steps in front of me. Back off there, buddy. She apologized. No need to snap at her. Sarah is staring him down like a tiger protecting her cubs. The other people in the cafe suddenly stop being interested and return to what they were doing. What's this? She can't speak for herself, says the man with a vicious tone. I did. You just didn't want to listen. Of course I can speak for myself. I'm really sorry about your shirt. It's not my fault you don't want to listen. Grown up Neil. Saying sorry doesn't fix anything, he grumbles. Look, I can pay for the dry cleaning bill, I offer. A clerk comes running up and starts picking up the broken pieces of glass from the ground. I almost said kicking. I run down to help them, feeling obligated since it was my fault after all. I don't have time for this, the man says. Then he briskly walks away. Like no one's going to pick up that's not Neil. Don't pay him any mind, Mitchell, says Sarah. That's just how some city folk are, rude and obnoxious. I bite my lip and help clean up the mess I made. I feel pretty embarrassed by the encounter, but me and Sarah stay at the cafe once we were offered free replacements. Sorry about that. I think my neighbor's home, but I don't remember her car being here when I got back. Sorry. I'm glad they didn't ask me to give them any sort of compensation for breaking the cups. I always have to get up, and when I hear a car outside my window, I always have to check. You never know. Putting the event to the back of my mind, me and Sarah talk about our lives and what's going on. Sarah's excited about a new camera that she's getting, as she's a professional photographer. She's waxing poetic about all of its features, and then suggests we hold a photo shoot with my designs. This way, she has some pictures to fill up her portfolio, and I get to use them for my own advertising purposes. We both eagerly talk about the specifics of the photo shoot. However, no matter how much I try, I keep wondering about that man, as I do still feel guilty about spilling coffee all over him. He was pretty rude about it, though. I guess city folk really are different. Alright, so we are back here and we can continue on with Neil's chapter, into chapter 3, and I do have enough money to buy it. Yes. Things are going smoothly lately. My shop is finally getting some traction among the locals. It's not a huge milestone, but people are starting to stop and come by to see what all the fuss is about. As I'm forwarding some fabric, I suddenly hear the door open. It's a customer rushing inside. Quickly I head out to greet him with a smile. Welcome. Oh. Wait, isn't that the person I spilled coffee on all over the other day? Is that why he's here? For reimbursement? Are you here for the dry cleaning bill? I ask, a bit unsure. Wait, how did he find me anyway? He stammers, suddenly taken aback by the question, as if he wasn't prepared to meet me here. Yes, exactly why I came here. To this quaint little shop of yours. His voice is dripping of sarcasm. The man straightens his back while looking around the store. He puffs out his chest and clicks his tongue disapprovingly, as if he's judging every square inch of it, and it's not up to standards. There's a scowl on his face as he frowns at my layout of the store. I already want to kick him out of Sunshine Bliss. After a little run-in the other day, I was forced to dispose of my hideous mess you made that was once called a satin dress shirt. I'll cry about it. I had to order a new one, the man continues. That wasn't necessary, I could have paid for the dry cleaning, or even made you a new one in return, as an apology for ruining your previous one. Don't be obtuse. Creating an entire new one when you can simply buy another one instead. The man lazily flicks his wrist at me. What's done is done. However, now we have to come to the issue of payment. Suddenly, his mouth stops moving. He's noticed a bunch of framed pictures behind the register. There's some of my childhood pictures. I treasure them quite a lot, so I proudly display them. I'm not sure why he stopped to stare, but he takes a few steps closer to investigate. I'm almost convinced he is going to nag about my choice of wallpaper or framing for the pictures until I notice he doesn't have a skull on his face as he did before. Do you like my pictures? I ask instead. That's not. I mean, I'm positive I recognize this boy. He trails off. He's looking at a certain picture of me back from when I was around 8 years old and going through a tomboy phase. I know I look boyish, but for him to mistake my childhood picture as that of a boy makes me feel a little abashed. What does that mean? Abashed. Is that embarrassed? Anybody know what this word means? Tell me in the comments. It is a common mistake, though. I quickly shake my head to reel in my embarrassment. That would be me. No, it's not. He scoffs, completely disregarding what I said. I'm fairly sure that's a boy, and I've met him before. Taken aback, I blink at him. Met me before? What do you mean? It's coming back to me. It's your brother, he asks. However, he doesn't wait for my answer. I can see the resemblance. I'd almost forgotten what he looked like. Try to imagine what it like. I used to watch anime a lot when I was in high school, and I'm trying to remember what, because this is like in the form of an anime. You know, they're like adult cartoons from Japan, and I'm trying to picture what he would sound like if he was an anime character, like on TV. The corners of his lips are curled up in a smile, which looks infinitely better than the scroll he's been wearing all this time. Still, I'm rather confused, so I prod him for some answers. Who are you? And what do you mean by you've almost forgotten? Right. Where are my manners? I must have left them behind with my ruined dress shirt. Yeah, I did a Stewie. The man brings a hand to his forehead, shaking his head. Alright, we'll read one more section and we'll close out the episode. Then he straightens his back, looking very impressed with himself. The name's Neil Forrester. You may recognize the last name. I do. Sarah told me some more about the hospital next to the cafe, that it's owned by the Forrester family. Alright, this one and then we'll go. They seem to be quite rich. In looking at this person, I'm sure he grew up knowing nothing but riches. And with that being said, we are going to conclude this episode of Tailor Tales. I've been Jeff Bloodrain. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you next time.